Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 6th round of the 1958 season, the French Grand Prix. It was held on the 6th of July, it had 22 entries, all of them took part in the race but only 9 managed to finish. The race consisted of 50 laps completed in 2 hours, 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Mike Hawthorne started from pole with Musso in 2nd, Harry Schell 3rd, Collins 4th and Tony Brooks 5th. Hawthorne drove a superb race and won the French Grand Prix. This would become his sole victory for the entire season. Moss finished in 2nd, 24.6 seconds later. Von Trips came home in 3rd, he was 59.7 seconds behind. Fangio finished in 4th, he was 1 lap down, and Collins crossed the finish line in 5th, he was 2 laps adrift. Hawthorne also posted the fastest lap of the race, a 2-minute 24.9 second lap. So, this year we return to Reims for the French Grand Prix, where a lap starts off with a long run down into turn 1, a long open right-hander. Turn 2 is pretty much the same as turn 1, except it is slightly tighter. Turn 3 is an open left-hander that brings us into turn 4, a tight right-hand hairpin. This brings us onto the longest straight on the track, which ends with another right-hand hairpin. Brake early and take it easy as the corner is quite bumpy. But this brings us back around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Reims circuit. And here we are in qualifying for the French Grand Prix, coming around to try and post a lap, but unfortunately I went off. I tried to get back onto the track, but for some reason the car just wanted to go straight. I hit a person who turned out to be the strongest person in the world, and I lost both of my front wheels, so that's qualifying over for us, unfortunately, which means we will be starting from the back. But oh well. Again, I tried to get back onto the track, even though it kind of looked like I didn't, but I did. I tried, but the car just didn't want to get off the grass, so that was entirely my fault. But anyway, here are the previous French Grand Prix winners. We have quite a few. We are among them, thankfully, so that's nice. And here is the grid walk. We have Sterling Moss on pole with Hawthorne in 2nd, Tony Brooks 3rd, Roy Salvadori 4th, and Harry Schell rounding off the top 5. Peter Collins is 6th, 7th is Trintignant, 8th Brabham, 9th is Gendebian, followed by Luigi Musso in 10th. Then in 11th we have Wolfgang von Trips, followed by Phil Hill in 12th. 13th is Bruce McLaren, followed by Graham Hill in 14th. Jean Berra 15th. 16th is Stuart Lewis Evans. Joe Bonnier 17th. Juan Manuel Fangio 18th. 19th is Maston Gregory. And of course 20th is our guy Andy Higgs. So, here we are for the French Grand Prix, once again back in Reims, a pretty okay track. Well, at least for the AI in general. The past couple of races we had in Reims went pretty well for the AI, so I'm hoping that things will go well this time too, so we'll have to see. There you saw I tried to kind of get in front, but I was kind of boxed in, so I couldn't really get anywhere past Fangio there. Again, I tried to gain some positions, but Fangio blocked me, so there was no room for me to go anywhere, so I decided to lift off a bit and fall behind and wait for the AI to kind of settle before I try to do any maneuvers. And here is another replay of the start. A pretty decent start, except for the part where I couldn't gain any positions because I was boxed in and I had nowhere to go, so well, that's kind of bad, but at least I tried, so you cannot say I didn't. And there I am, kind of giving up for the time being and deciding that it would probably be a better idea to just wait it out and until the AI settles and do it then. As we now come around turn 4, I believe, yeah, and we saw there are a bunch of cars, lost control, and we move up into 15th, and we're now chasing after teammate Graham Hill, who is just in front. In front of him is a Ferrari, not sure who it is. But then as we come around to finish lap 2, we saw Peter Collins there at the side of the road, so we move up into 13th, chasing after Wolfgang von Trips. As we start lap 3 we overtake Wolfgang von Trips and we see Graham Hill right in front of us along with someone else in another green car. Then on lap 3, towards the end of lap 3, it started raining and that kind of caught me off. I broke a bit late and I had to use the old part of the circuit there. That caused me to lose quite a few positions. We are now down in 15th, right behind Gendebian, so hopefully we will eventually get back, manage to regain our positions. But we are now looking at a replay of Juan Manuel Fangio, who is coming through the first hairpin there, loses control of his car and then kind of gets confused and tries to drive forward where he cannot. Anyway, we just started lap 4 now. We are still behind Gendebian, about 1 second down. Eventually we catch up to him and here I am trying to go for a pass. Can we do it? I think we might just be able to. Yes, we managed to pull in front of him. We have Collins in front of us. Unfortunately, I had to brake a little bit early and that allowed Gendebian to get back in front of us, but I'm hoping that we can a little bit later try again, and we indeed do on lap 5 here. I'm trying another attempt to overtake Gendebian. We see Harry Shell there in front of us. We pass Gendebian. Now I'm going for a maneuver on Harry Shell. I'm not sure if we'll do it though. He's quite fast. We are fast as well, and our little Lotus pulls through. So we now move up into 13th and we're once again chasing after Peter Collins. So that's pretty nice, I'd say. Now on lap 7, as we come into this hairpin, into the final corner, I had to brake early once again and that allowed Gendebian to get in front of me. So we are down in 14th once again. Now we're moving on to lap 9, still chasing after Gendebian. The rain just stopped suddenly, which is kind of awkward and weird, but we are chasing after Gendebian, and here is a replay of Harry Shell coming into the first of the hairpins, loses control of his car, and like Fangio forgets that he has a reverse gear and tries to drive straight ahead, which doesn't really work. Later on lap 9, we catch up to Peter Collins, who was overtaken by Gendebian, and I also try to make a move on Peter Collins, and we are through and back up in 13th. So now let's try and overtake Gendebian once again. Hopefully we can actually catch up to him. Lap 11 and Gendebian overtook Luigi Musso, and we shall try to do the same. Yes, we managed to do it as we drive towards the hairpin, which is the final corner of the track. We then move onto lap 12, coming into the first of the hairpins. I brake a little bit early and that allows Luigi Musso to get back in front of us. And then later on lap 12, I managed to once again overtake Luigi Musso, and unfortunately for him, he will not finish the race, so that's not very good for him. However, I brake early into the hairpin and Luigi Musso gets back in front of us. However, he loses control of the car and we move back in front of him. So we are now in 12th, once again chasing after Gendebian. Now on lap 13, we are just behind him. Use his slipstream, then flick to the right there and try to overtake him, and we move up into 11th, the highest we've been the entire race. So hopefully we can continue to gain a few positions. Now on lap 14, and we saw a Ferrari there to the right kind of spinning around. I'm not entirely sure who it is, but we move up into 10th temporarily. Then Gendebian gets in front of us, who immediately loses control of the car after he overtakes us. So we move up into 10th, now chasing after Mike Hawthorne, who is right in front of us in his Ferrari. Can we overtake him as well? I'm not sure. We are making use of his slipstream though, so it brings us close to him, and we flick the car to the right there, and we are through and up in 9th, the highest we've been this race so far. Lewis Evans would be next. He's about 5 seconds of the road. And here is a replay of Von Trips losing control of his Ferrari and crashes into that hedge there, loses his front left, and he is out of the race. And that allowed us to move into 10th and then eventually into 9th as we now come into the last hairpin. Then we move on to lap 15 here, still chasing after Lewis Evans, who is pulling away, so I don't think we'll be able to catch him because we only have a couple of laps left in the race. And this is a replay of Jean Berra, who has some problems with his suspension, and we see him there pull off to the side of the road, and he is out of the French Grand Prix. Unfortunately, he had to retire from his home Grand Prix, but oh well, you can't have them all, can you? As we move further on lap 15, and Evans managed to increase the gap, but eventually we come around to finish the race in 9th. Could have done probably a bit better, but 9th is good as well. And here are the race results. Quite a few people finished actually, so that's quite nice, I'd say. Sterling Moss managed to post the fastest lap of the race, so good work onto him. And this is, I believe, the first time ever we had 2 pages for the race results, so that's quite interesting. And here are the retirements. 4 people retired, with Luigi Musso obviously losing his life during this race. And there we see Gendebian losing control of his car on the cooldown lap, which is quite interesting. But anyway, here are the career statistics, and this was Andy's 71st Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 3 pole positions, has posted 13 fastest laps, his best finishes in first, has completed 49 races, 42 of them in the points, has won 26 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 4 in Monaco, has 5 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 286 points, has retired 22 times, has experienced 1,655 out of 2,021 laps, has 5 bronze trophies, 6 silver trophies, 26 gold trophies, and as an extension, 26 podiums. And here is a look at the championship standings. Higgs is still leading with Brooks in second, Moss and Evans on third with 15 points, and Roy Salvadori in fifth with 8 points. Graham Hill is the last person to have scored points. He is in 10th with 2 points, and at the very bottom of the standings we have Juan Manuel Fangio. And starting from the next race we will be dropping points for the drivers, so always an exciting time because that can have a huge impact on the outcome of the championship, so kind of looking forward to that. Anyway, let's move on to the drivers, to the Constructors' Championship story, and here it is. Van Wall move into the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Lotus, our team, falls into second, Lotus third, Maserati fourth, and Ferrari and VRam still have to try and score points. And whilst for the Drivers' Championship we will start dropping points in the next race, for the Constructors we'll have to wait until the German Grand Prix, because as I said, the Indianapolis 500 doesn't actually count towards the championship total. So, and actually if you take a look at the real life standings, you'll notice that the Indianapolis 500 is actually taken off the standings for the constructors. It's there for the drivers but not for the constructors. But yeah, that was the French Grand Prix. Quite a good race, I would say. I had quite a bit of fun, and I'm quite pleased to have seen so many people finish it. That's quite rare. So 4 retirements, 5 if we count Luigi Musso's tragic death during the French Grand Prix. So yeah, aside from the tragedy that came with the French Grand Prix, I'd say that it was a good race overall, so that's always a good thing. But anyway, that is it for the French Grand Prix for this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team, link is in the description. I also have a second channel where I will be playing all sorts of different games. At the moment I'm doing a playthrough of the original Need for Speed Underground, so if you're interested, there is a link in the description to that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp!